Durin shows up looking absolutely jacked, but struggling to keep his powers in check. It is giving suffering from success, but with a side of danger. He tries to play it cool, but you can tell something is off. Alice drops in with the Aunt Alice energy, summoning the squad for a mandatory family meeting about Durin's mom. It is giving main quest initiation, and honestly, we are totally ready for this lore drop. Alice reveals this whole quest is actually Durin's mom's dying wish, which is heavy. She asks what a writer's biggest regret is, and drops the bomb that leaving a story unfinished is the ultimate fail. She wrote an ending herself because she could not handle the gloom, but Durin's mom left a book that represents her biggest regret. It is giving major mystery vibes, and Durin has to resolve it to clear the regret. To fix the story, they have to literally enter the book, which sounds like an isekai plot waiting to happen. Alice hands over some magic ink left by M, warning them it is super limited edition. If they run out, it is game over. Durin is ready to do whatever it takes, channeling serious main character determination. They have to find clues in memories to unlock chapters, which feels like a giant fetch quest. The first clue is a total riddle about a place where stories sleep. It sounds like a library, obviously, but they have to make it dramatic. They decide to head back to Mondstadt, because that is where M wrote the story. The squad is hyped for the road trip, and honestly, the nostalgia is hitting hard. It is time to go back to where it all started and see if the vibes are still immaculate. They hit up the library and run into Lisa, who is still the queen of keeping people in check. She drops some intel about invisible books appearing and disappearing, which is basically the universe glitching out. It turns out these books are the seeds of the story they need. Lisa tasks them with hunting down these ghost books, and honestly, hiding magical tomes in a public library is such a chaotic power move. They find the books, and of course, they are all from the restricted section. One is a spell book so dangerous it had to be hidden from Klee to stop her from blowing up the world, which is valid. Another is a poetry collection about the evil dragon that got banned for being too sympathetic. It seems the author was trying to rewrite history, or maybe just leaking the truth that everyone else was too afraid to handle. They finally jump into the book, and the narration kicks in. The story is about an evil dragon who was actually just a misunderstood kid with a tragic fate. The witch in the story decides to adopt him and rewrite his ending, which is literally M projecting her love for Durin. They are watching a dragon egg hatch, and the wholesome levels are off the charts. It is giving found family trope in the best way possible. The egg hatches, and M delivers a monologue about how this baby dragon was wanted and loved, unlike the previous one. It is honestly so touching it could make a grown person cry. She promises him a different fate, and Durin realizes she is talking to him across time. The squad is just standing there witnessing this core memory, and the emotional damage is real but in a healing way. Alice leaves a voice memo explaining that the magic ink needs time to dry, so they have to take a break. It is basically a forced cooldown timer on their quest. Paimon immediately suggests getting food because she is consistent if nothing else. They decide to chill in Mondstadt for a bit, which is a nice break from all the heavy emotional lifting. It is time to touch grass before the next plot twist hits. They need to solve another riddle involving wind and music, so naturally, they track down Venti. The tone-deaf bard is surprisingly helpful for once, dropping the answers about 3 melodies. He reveals that M was a genius who solved his riddles instantly back in the day. It turns out storytellers and bards are on the same wavelength. Venti sends them to a specific spot to play music and unlock the next memory. Back in the story, the witches are throwing a birthday party for the Dragon Kid. It is a full gathering of the Hexenzirkel, minus a few who are busy or hiding. They are debating gifts, and it is giving rich aunts spoiling the nephew energy. But then some uninvited guests show up empty-handed, and the vibe gets awkward fast. The squad has to step in and provide a gift to keep the plot moving. The seer witch drops a prophecy that the kid has the evil dragon's name and fate, which is a total buzzkill for a birthday party. But M is not having it. She declares she will rewrite his fate, and the other witches are like, "Bet, let's defy the laws of the universe." They offer gifts to help break the curse, proving that the power of friendship and magic is literally unstoppable. Back in reality, Durin is trying to be a normal social human by playing cards at the cat's tail. He is getting absolutely destroyed by bad luck, rolling terrible dice every time. It is like the universe is trolling him. Diona and the others are cheering him on, but his luck stat is clearly in the negatives. It is a harsh reminder that fighting fate is not just about big battles, but also winning a card game. The book drops a clue about a dragon living in a castle, which screams Storm Terror's lair. Durin wants to meet Dvalin, the other dragon, which feels like a crossover episode waiting to happen. They head into the storm, and Paimon is freaking out about getting blown away. Durin is calm, though, ready to face whatever dragon drama awaits. It is time to see if these two dragons can vibe or if it will be chaos. Inside the story again, it shifts to the Simulanka arc. Durin is hiding in a tower because he started looking like the evil dragon and got scared. It is heartbreaking to see him ghosting everyone because of his appearance. The squad has to navigate a platforming puzzle to reach him, which feels like a throwback to old-school games. They are determined to drag him out of his isolation era and show him he is still loved. The Simulanka crew, Nilu, Navia, and Kirara show up in the story to reassure the dragon. They tell him they are not afraid of his claws or scales, which is the validation he desperately needs. Alice's character pops up to facilitate the wish granting, and Durin finally accepts their friendship. It is a massive win for his self-esteem, proving that true friends do not care if you look like a raid boss. The adventurers make a wish to the goddess of fate, and Durin sheds his scales, stepping out of the gloom. It is a total glow-up moment, but the narrator warns that the outside world has its own trials, hinting that the happy ending is not secured yet. The foreshadowing is heavy, suggesting that leaving the castle was just the tutorial level and the real game is about to start. Back in the real world, things go sideways fast. People in Mondstadt start forgetting who Durin is, confusing him with the evil dragon from the past. It is like he is being retconned from reality in real time. Then Durin collapses because his connection to his body is glitching. It is terrifying, and Jean has to step in to manage the crisis. The vibes have shifted from wholesome to critical emergency. They jump back into the story to find clues, and thankfully, the story versions of his friends still remember him. But there is a stray cat character, who is obviously Hat Guy, hiding in the corner. He is being moody and refusing to talk, which is classic Scaramouche behavior. He is clearly worried but trying to play it off like he does not care, but we all know he is stressing. In Sumeru, they find Scaramouche, who has been investigating the issue. He discovered that records of Durin are disappearing, meaning the world itself is rejecting his existence. It is a terrifying concept, basically an existential banhammer. Scaramouche is actually worried about Durin being forgotten by everyone, including him. It shows how much he actually cares, even if he wraps it in layers of snark and attitude. They enter a new story chapter where Durin is a lost dragon and Scaramouche is a stray cat. The cat tries to write Durin's story, but it keeps turning into the evil dragon's tale. It is a metaphor for how the world refuses to accept a new narrative. They are stuck in a loop of bad endings, and the frustration is real. They need to find a way to break the canon event that says dragons have to be evil. A prophetess, who is totally Mona's master, shows up to drop some hard truths. She explains that the world of Teyvat has its own storytelling magic that governs fate. Two versions of the same fate cannot exist, so the universe is trying to merge Durin with the evil dragon. It is a system error in the fabric of reality, and Durin is the glitch that needs to be fixed. The prophetess reveals the core issue. Durin's story cannot take root because the evil dragon's story is already taking up that slot. It is like trying to install a game when the hard drive is full of corrupted files. The only way to fix it is to do something drastic. Scaramouche and the squad realize they are fighting the fundamental laws of the world, which is standard behavior for the traveler at this point. They head to Dragonspine to meet Albedo, the OG homunculus. He confirms that Durin is physically fine, but his connection to the world is fading. He theorizes that they need to use high-level magic to rewrite fate itself. It turns out Albedo and Durin had been planning something like this, but they need the book to pull it off. It is time for a science and magic crossover event to save the day. In the story world, a clay version of Albedo finds the evil dragon's heart. It is still beating, which is creepy. He realizes that as long as the heart exists, the evil dragon will return. He comes up with a plan to give the heart to the little dragon, effectively swapping their fates. It is a risky transplant, hoping that the little dragon's soul can overpower the evil influence. They destroy the heart in the story, but it does not work. The narrator says the roots are too deep, and the little dragon just fades away while the evil legend endures. It is a bad ending, and everyone is shook. Durin starts disappearing for real, and panic sets in. It looks like game over, but Alice's voice chimes in to remind them that this is an interactive book. Alice reveals the book has a rewind feature because she is a genius who anticipates everything. She tells them to flip back the pages and try again. It is literally a save scumming mechanic built into the magic. They realize they can change the outcome if they make different choices. It gives them a second chance to fix the mess, proving that fate is not as set in stone as they thought. They try the path where Durin accepts the heart and is reborn. It works at first. He gets a new body and fulfills the prophecy. But then the dark power lingers, and the narrator asks if he can control it. The ink starts running out, leaving blank pages. It is a cliffhanger in the worst possible moment. The story is stalling because they do not have enough resources to write the happy ending. The story keeps looping into bad endings because the ink is dry. Durin tries to suppress the power, but without ink, the action cannot be written. It is a meta-crisis where the medium itself is failing. Durin starts losing hope, thinking he should just go back to the castle and sleep forever. It is a depression spiral, and the squad has to frantically find a way to keep the narrative going before he gives up. Albedo hypothesizes that Durin is a character who needs to write his own story. The author's ink is gone, so Durin has to use his own will as the ink. It is a breakthrough moment. Durin realizes he has been relying on his mom's script for too long. He needs to step up and become the author of his own life. The blank pages are not a dead end. They are an invitation. Durin decides to break through the invisible wall of the story. He pushes against the void, shattering the boundaries of the narrative. It is a sheer force of will, breaking the fourth wall and the laws of magic simultaneously. He is fighting to exist on his own terms. The voices of his friends guide him through the darkness, anchoring him to reality when he starts to drift away. In a flashback conversation, we see Em and Alice discussing this exact moment. Em knew her ink would run out, so she turned her other stories into magic ink for Durin to use. She planned for him to take over the pen all along. It reveals that this was not just a rescue mission, but a rite of passage. She wanted him to grow up and define his own future, even if it meant letting her go. Em explains that a character who writes their own story is free from the author's cage. She entrusts him with the pen, effectively handing over the reins of destiny. It is the ultimate act of trust. Durin accepts the pen, realizing he does not need to be just a character anymore. He is the writer, the protagonist, and the editor of his own fate. He is finally ready to face the darkness. Durin confronts the dark fate in a final showdown. He declares that he will not be defined by the evil dragon's legacy. He uses the pen to rewrite the ending in real time, fighting off the corruption with pure main character energy. The squad cheers him on as he blasts the darkness away. He declares that only his story will endure, deleting the bad ending from existence. The battle ends, and Durin is stable. He has fully integrated his new fate, and the abyssal power is under control. He thanks his mom and his friends, looking like a total giga-chad who just conquered destiny. Scaramouche tries to leave quietly, acting like he did not just stress out for days, but we know he is relieved. Durin is finally safe, and the memory loss glitch is patched. Alice shows up in her fancy outfit to collect the book. She reveals she knew the traveler would be the perfect witness. The whole thing was a massive setup to help Durin evolve. She's proud of how it turned out, even if it went off script. The witches celebrate, and Barbeloth admits Durin's fate is now unwritten, meaning he is free. It is the best possible outcome for everyone involved. The video wraps up with a final letter from Em. She tells Durin to fly free and seek his own adventure. She encourages him to meet the other dragon and dance in the sky. It is a beautiful send-off, giving him full permission to live his life. The final scene shows Durin and Dvalin flying together, proving that the two dragons can coexist. The happy ending is secured, and the vibes are immaculate.